All right, we're doing some derivatives of exponents and logarithms. The main thing to remember here is that the derivative of, say, b to the x is going to be b to the x times the natural log of b. So that's the main thing that we'll be using each time here. And then in this case, we have a chain rule situation. So maybe I will move this and shrink it down. So we'll just stick this up here, just to remind us that that's a thing. And let's see, can I just put a little funky like thing around it? There we go. Okay, so getting back to the work at hand. Can I get a better color? Probably not. I guess this is probably the best. Here, we'll do this. This might look better. Okay, so we have chain rule. So the first thing, f is going to be 2 to the x, and g here is equal to 2x. So notice that you have this 2 to the 2x. So the g there is 2x. G prime is, of course, 2. And f prime, here's where we're going to use that rule up there. F prime, the derivative of 2 to the x, is 2 to the x times the natural log of 2. So f prime evaluated at g times g prime is going to look like this. 2 to the, we'll fill in that in a minute, times natural log of 2. That's f prime. I'll put the g in there. And then times g prime. So maybe I can I highlight on here? I guess I sort of can. There's g prime. Interesting. Let's see what happens if I do this. This one and this comes from here. And then this stuff. Yeah. Not a whole lot of difference in the highlighting. Well, you get the picture, hopefully. Okay, let's go with this one next. So let's see, back to this business. Okay, so we have f is equal to 3 to the x, f prime. I'm going to put the natural log here because I like putting it out front better than where it is up here. Maybe I'll just make a little notation. It's the same as the natural log of b times b to the x. These are the same exact thing. You can write it either way. There. And that looks a little better. Okay, so getting back to this. G is going to be negative x to the negative first. G prime is x to the negative second. And so f prime evaluated at g times g prime is going to equal natural log of 3 times 3. And remember, we're going to plug g in there instead of x. So negative x to the negative first. And then multiply this times x to the negative 2. Of course, that's correct the way it is, but it would be nice if we could clean this up just a little bit. So I'm going to do that. Natural log of 3 times 3 to the negative 1 over x, all over x squared. Just looks a little better. Okay, so next one looks like a bit of a mess, but we're going to clean it up before we do anything. So note that you could write this like this. And don't forget that you can use the rules of exponents before we do our derivative. So this is f of x, which also, if you do this, this is going to be 9/3 to the x power minus 6/3 to the x power. 9/3 is, of course, 3. And 6/3 is 2. Now that we've got that straightened out, I can compute f. So this is f of x. So f prime of x is pretty easy. That's going to be the natural log of 3 times 3 to the x minus the natural log of 2 times 2 to the x. And that's that. Okay, moving on to the logarithms. Of course, we hopefully know by now that the derivative of the natural log, let's do this, I'll put it right here. The derivative of natural log of x is 1 over x. So that's one of the rules. And then the other rule that we're going to be using is that the derivative of the log base b of x is going to be 1 over x times the natural log of whatever that base b is. It's similar to the correction that we made for the exponential. So we have those two rules that we're going to be excited about and use. So there's my logarithm derivatives. So over here, this is a chain rule, obviously. Hopefully you can recognize that. And so the outer function is the natural log of x. The inner function is x squared plus 1. F prime is 1 over x. G prime is 2x. And so f prime evaluated at g times g prime looks like this. 1 over something, and that something happens to be x squared plus 1 times 2x. And we could clean this up. Okay, next one. Okay, log base 2 of x. That's just going to be applying this rule right here. So let's just go ahead and do it. This will be f prime of x is 1 over x times the natural log of 2. Okay, one more of these, and here again the chain rule. F is the log base 10 of x. F prime is going to be 1 over x times the natural log of 10. And then g here is x cubed minus 4, and g prime, 3x squared. So f prime evaluated at g times g prime, our favorite chain rule there, is going to be 1 over, I'll put this set of parentheses, natural log of 10. So there's f prime, and what I'm going to stick in there is g, and g is the x cubed minus 4. And then multiply this thing times g prime, which is 3x squared. You could clean this up if you want, or you could just box it and be happy. Don't forget to like and subscribe.